We're going to go to Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline, chat about this Parayko news. Paul, we're spending 5 minutes on Bobrovsky because Yarmo's aggressive pursuit of this massive Blues deal kind of opens all doors of conversation, at least for the next, 24 to 36 hours. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good. Are you pins and needles on this Parayko news? How do you like the idea for the Sabres, first off? And, should Sabres fans be hoping, in fact, that Parayko waves and decides to come?
Well, I think it'd be, I think it'd be a good move. It fits exactly what I've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. Their top four are just playing too much, and I think they got worn out before the break. Now they're okay right now, but with the busy schedule of March, I think I could see them definitely getting worn out. You can't be playing, other than Darlene, you can't be playing the other 23, 24 minutes a game during this schedule and expect them to be in top form. I mean, they did lose 3 out of 4 games going into break, and I think that was the biggest problem was those guys looked like they were starting to wear down. I think Parayko is exactly what I've been talking about, a guy you can put on your third pair who can take minutes away from Power, from Byram, and from Samuelson, and you instead of what you're getting now out of Metza and Kesselring, which some nights is 10 to 12 minutes, you can get him up to 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there. Right now he's getting around 22 minutes with the Blues, and that would help take some of the minutes. I don't necessarily need to put him in the top 4, but, he can take some of the minutes away from those guys from a third pair position, and I think that works very well for the Sabres moving forward here once you get into the playoffs and move forward from that.
Do you think that's what they would do, Paul? Or do you think they would – I guess they have been totally okay to this point with Darlene and Power especially being lefties that are playing on their offside on the right. Do you think they would want Parayko to go up into the top 4, kick someone else down to make that more even? Or do you think they would continue to say, yeah, no, we don't care about lefty-righty, we just want the best 4 in the top 4?
Lindy Ruff does care about lefty-righty. And what's happening now with the only time that Metza ever plays left defense is in warm-up. He and Kesselring, and he's playing he never plays it in a game. And it's because they really don't put the two of them out there as a pair. It's always, all right, Metza, we want to put him out for a bit. Let's put him out with Darlene. Kesselring, we want to put him out there. Let's put him out there with Power for a shift. And they spot him that way. But they never really put them out as a pair. It's top 4, and then somebody from the top 4 will play with one of the guys on in the third pair, which isn't actually a pair. So I would see that probably happening again, where you would have Kesselring and Parayko as your third pair, but the chances are pretty good you would never see them out there together. You would see them out there with one of the guys on the top 4. But Parayko, I think, would get more of the chance than Kesselring or Metza or whoever the number 6 guy would be, and that's where he could start taking minutes away because you wouldn't have to put guys out there with the number 6 guy. The number 6 guy probably would hardly play.
Paul, I wonder what you think about the idea of Parayko waving, and if the Sabres can try to convince him, if they're in a better spot to do that, being that they are in a playoff spot and have a GM that's been a GM in the league before. Is this a spot where you call the agent, you have teammates or players that have crossed paths with him call? I don't know, going all the way back to the Robin Regeer courting process. Yep. That was, the owner going there and trying to convince him? So, what can and should the Sabres do? Just kind of sit and wait and realize it's out of their hands, or can they be active here?
Well, I would be shocked if his former teammate, Tage Thompson, hasn't called him yet to talk to him and just, help him all tell him about Buffalo and that type of thing. And Tyler Myers kind of set the bar for this. Tyler Myers wasn't that crazy about being traded out of Vancouver, so he waited. There was a deal, I think I read it was Detroit.
Yeah.
And that's what he was debating on, but he took a long time. He was really, he didn't play games for, what was it, a week or two before the break, and he was just debating, and what he was doing, he was hoping that Vancouver would get a different deal. Maybe a better deal for him and a better deal for Vancouver. And he got it because he winds up in Dallas where he spent the first, 11 or 13 years of his life. So he's basically going home now. And, so it worked for him. By him dragging his feet, Vancouver got a different deal, and he winds up in Dallas. So now Parayko sees that. Maybe he's not crazy about Buffalo, but maybe he would do it. But he might say, well, trade deadline's not till Friday. Why don't we just sit tight here and see maybe if St. Louis gets a different deal that I might like better.
I wonder if they possibly get more than what the Sabres – I mean, the Sabres price, Paul, a first and a prospect that is a highly drafted prospect. Like, that is it's one of the bigger, I guess, hauls you'll see at the deadline.
No, you see good big hauls at the deadline at times, depending on the player or depending how excited the team is to trade that player. It's like St. Louis. It's like, well, it's not like we really have to trade Thomas. So here's our price. You want to meet it? Well, then maybe we'll trade Thomas. If you don't, hey, guess what? We'll keep him. We're good. He's only 26 years old. So I think St. Louis is approaching a lot of it this way with, this is going to be the price. I really don't have any problem whatsoever with Buffalo paying a price like that for a player that can make them better, whether it's him or somebody else. In this case, Kleber is the number 2 pick playing at Minnesota Duluth, who, when the World Junior, was one of their best players and is a really good prospect. They like him a lot. He's big, just like Murtka. He's a right-handed shot, just like Murtka. Second-round pick that a lot of people are saying if he got drafted now would be a first-rounder, and is really coming into his own in his second year at Minnesota Duluth. I think it was the year before, they took another second-round pick who's a big right-handed shooting defenseman, Sturbeck. He's in his junior at Michigan State. I don't think they think as much of him as Kleber, but he, too, is playing very well at Michigan State. Plus, you've also got the 2 Russians in Rochester who are young and big. You've got a number 1 pick in Johnson in Rochester, who, I don't know, has he fallen out of favor? Is he going to be in the NHL? I don't know. But he is a former number 1 pick. So you've got other guys that are highly touted, especially in Kleber, if Murtka becomes the price.
Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline. Thank you, Paul.
Take care, guys.
We'll keep you up to date on the latest from the insiders. If Paul hears anything, anyone else does, Sabres have that deal in place and kind of waiting to see if anything moves forward. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550 to join us. Penguins tonight. This game
Without Crosby.
They're playing well, though, without Crosby.
They have won a couple games, yes.
They're playing in Pittsburgh. Every game they've played in Pittsburgh for the last 10 years, they have had a 2-1 lead and then given up 2 goals in a minute and a half. That's what will happen tonight. They'll be leading the Penguins, and the Penguins will score 3 goals in 2 minutes or something like that. I know because I hear that horn in my nightmares. They always lose.
That horn.
They lose in Pittsburgh all the time. Such a shrill horn.
I mean, they've been pretty good. The Bruins horn has always been the one that's lived in my nightmares.
Yeah.
That's the Penguins horn? Yeah, you're right. I don't like.
Yep, not a fan. Sabres and Penguins tonight. Before coming home for a pair of games on the weekend, and the forecast is going to be Saturday's forecast is warm, but also terrifying. Thunderstorms and wind and stuff. So warm and chaotic. It almost looks like high of 67 Saturday into the 60s. So that's good.